Did you know like 75% of cosmetics, makeup, skincare products marketed to Black women are harmful or contain harmful chemicals? So I'm just like, if I don't know this, I'm pretty sure a lot of our community
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know this. So I just started diving into it. It turned into a blog. And then all of these Black women owned brands started reaching out to me saying, like, thank you for bringing education to this piece. Like, we feel like we're screaming to avoid.
Today, I'm kicking back with Hannah McCall, the founder of Clean Beauty for Black Girls. Clean Beauty for Black Girls is a nonprofit organization on a mission to empower Black women and girls with the knowledge, clarity, and collective power to demand safer products and define beauty on their own terms. In this episode, we're talking about the toxic chemicals you should be looking out for in your beauty products, the safer beauty package that could change the industry, and how to make the switch to healthier product options without feeling like you have to overhaul your entire beauty routine at once. If you want to be more conscious about the products you're using and how they impact your health, this episode is for you. I'm so excited to have you on the pod today because, I have all the questions. And if you all are like me and you're curious about clean beauty products and you want more healthy options, Hannah is going to give us all the info. So, Hannah, please tell us about Clean Beauty for Black Girls, the nonprofit organization that you started.
Yeah, it's basically an awareness led organization. I was, full disclosure, was trying to be, my friend was trying to sell me some skincare, MLM type level. And part of her pitch was, did you know like 75% of cosmetics, makeup, skincare products marketed to Black women are harmful or contain harmful chemicals? And I was like, one, before I get to the part that making me mad, I
Right.
need to, why are you telling me this as a sales pitch? She was a white woman. And I'm like, that's pissing me off. Like, so I'm just like, if I don't know this, I'm pretty sure a lot of our community
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know this. So I just started diving into it. It turned into a blog. And then all of these Black women owned brands started reaching out to me saying, like, thank you for bringing education to this piece. Like, we feel like we're screaming to avoid. And then the other like partnering organizations came into play. And I turned it into a 501(c)(3), and we've been doing community education events since. I'm on coalitions nationally to make sure that we're like at the table and in the ear of any advocacy campaigns, science initiatives, and things like that. And then we just digest it and talk about it.
And I love that I think I saw that stat when you posted it on social media and I said 75%. Like I was shocked by that number. What has been your proudest moment to date doing this work, being basically a voice not only for other, product based businesses that are trying to get the message out to us consumers, but also being the voice for consumers who are looking for better options in terms of their clean beauty and products?
Honestly, it's always satisfying to do this work when I get a message from a woman who tells me, she's known this for years and is usually at the hands of a pretty devastating diagnosis. But to hear how they've usually created a product and created a way that you can still get the results that you want
Mm-hmm.
without giving up, the thing, without giving up your health, and just knowing that me speaking up about something makes them feel validated and seen. It's like, oh yeah, we just need to keep talking and getting louder.
Yeah. What are some updates? I know we talked offline and you were talking about you have some new information for us about, legislation and all the things. So what are some updates and some things we should be aware of about? Because the news cycle is very fast and there's a lot of
Mhm.
noise and I'm sure there's some things that we have missed or just not paying attention to. So what should we be aware of right now in
Yeah.
terms of like regulations and legislation?
I think the biggest thing to be aware of right now is pretty on brand for most things, but so the FDA has known formaldehyde is a carcinogen. What does that mean? It means it's directly linked to encouraging the growth of cancer cells. Um, and they've known for like, I don't know, more years than I have fingers. And They just have been delaying any action. They self-imposed a deadline of last year, a deadline that they moved like 2 or 3 times, and they missed it. Not only did they miss it again, they removed the extra parameters that were going to go around asbestos being in talc, which we saw in a lot of cosmetics, powder cosmetics. I think, the little girls cosmetics is one of the things that was big on the news with that. So that's not happening anymore. And the issue with that is we do have like this great bill package that's coming down the pipeline this year, but if legislation isn't working anyways, the power has to come back into the people. And I think we need to understand that we are getting more studies that might not continue again because of the way things are going in funding. But the studies that we have, like if we just look at the 2 hair studies that have come out within the last 12 months, Consumer Reports, the synthetic braiding hair, it was
That was a shocker to everybody.
all of them tested, all
Yes.
of them tested. And then recently there was another one with Silver Spring Institute, and it was wigs and other types of hair that you want to assume is a little bit safer, and it's a hard no again. So it's the evidence that's coming out is supporting what we've been saying for years, and now that the support is kind of there, that's where we're seeing legislation kind of saying, oh, well, yeah, we knew too. And now we're just going to have to blatantly say we don't actually care.
When it comes to clean beauty, so there's a lot of labels. There's organic, there's clean, there's natural. What does all of that mean? And what should we really be looking for? Because I'll go on a website like a Ulta or something like that. I'm looking for products and they put all the labels in there like this is a clean, cruelty free,
Yep.
vegan, all the things, and I'm just like, I think these are all good, but what are the difference between those types of labeling and what should we be looking for?
Unfortunately, nothing.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
um, well, because that's the biggest issue. There is no actual regulation on marketing. There is no regulation on the testing of chemicals before they go in your product. I think I did like a news segment one time, and the woman who was interviewing me, she was like, "Oh, I'm so excited. That says clean on the front." And I was like, "Yeah." And I flipped it over, and the very thing, like, especially like the ones that love to say no parabens, no sulfites, you can flip the most of those over, and SLS or sulfites, they'll be in the actual ingredients. Like, so it'll just be I'm banking on you reading this on the front and just grabbing it and trusting me, because who's coming for me if I'm lying? Nobody.
So now
So
you're saying I need to go upstairs and look at all of my products in my cabinet and see if they were labeled one way and if they're actually the other.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm
she's like,
like,
yeah.
there's apps out there, like there's Clearia, um, the Environmental Working Group has a healthy living app, Redify. Those are all apps that you can like scan the barcode and it will tell you the product, the ingredients of concern, and it'll also give you like a scale.
Okay.
Like, these are the ones to be most concerned about. These are the ones, like, it's like usually I think it's like 0 to 10 or 0 to 9. So it's like, as much as we can be more knowledgeable, it no, we can't give everything up, and no, we can't hide from this in entirety. You know what I mean? Like, at some
Yeah.
point, this really isn't our burden. And however, until we get legislation passed, we do have to be a little more resilient in how we're spending our money, so brands know that, like, no, there is no eyeshadow or smoothing hair treatment that is worth me getting cancer, and getting cancer at higher rates that are like stage 3 and 4 and more likely to kill me. No, it's not worth it.
I agree. And I think I saw on one of your previous I think podcast videos you had talked about how with these regulations and things like that, they say like, oh, a certain amount is quote unquote okay. But then we gotta think about, well, if it's okay in one product, but we're using like 5 products with that, what is that actually how much are we actually putting in our bodies? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah.
Because when you said that, I was like, oh, that does make sense. We think like, oh, 5% is okay, but if you're doing that times 10 products, you're looking at a different number.
Hmm. I actually gave a speech one time, and there was a scientist coming behind me, and he was like, I love that you took us through the life cycle of a product. He's like, because I'm going to pick up on that. He was talking about the environmental side, and that expanded my brain even more. But yes, so the FDA right now says, parabens, I'm not using real numbers.
Right. Right. Right.
Parabens are, safe for 1% amount of your in your product, whatever. Okay, cool. 1% in my shampoo. But I'm going to use shampoo, conditioner, face wash, face oil, face lotion, body oil. Like that is literally just before I actually get ready for the day. And then we
Mm-hmm.
go through everything else. And then to the point of like where we live in our environments, when I throw that product away, the residuals and everything that has seeped into the plastic is now going into my ecosystem. So like our exposure to that 1% like is immediately out the window as an actual logical conversation to be having before I even leave my bathroom in the morning. Like
And now we're gonna be everyone tuning into this episode is gonna be like, now we're gonna be thinking like, how much percentage are we actually using before we even leave the house in the morning?
exactly. And it's I hope I think we're getting to the stage where is that a little scary to know? Yeah. And I don't think that you don't know in some capacity you're aware. It's just how much can I stuff this down? My question is always going to be, but why stuff it down instead of say, hey, I think I deserve better than this,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Yeah. What do you think, knowing that some people are just not aware, but some of us are just
Mhm.
avoidant? What has been some
Mhm.
of the misconceptions or pushback you've been getting when you talk about clean beauty products, or even when you like started the nonprofit and you started doing this advocacy work, when you're trying to educate an audience, especially Black women, like, hey, we need to be taking our health more seriously. What type of misconceptions or pushback did you get?
Yeah. It depends on the age group, to be
Okay.
honest. I feel like auntie age and above.
What is
My Not
what is
me as an
auntie
auntie, because
age?
I am auntie
Because
age.
I'm an
Like,
auntie too. So
so
I'm like,
right,
what is
the
auntie
ones we would call auntie,
Okay.
the
Okay.
aunties of the aunties.
I got you. Got you. Because I'm like, oh, we
Like,
definitely are aunties now.
right, and I love it here. Like, you can never shame me for my auntie status and
Agreed.
era. I'm
Same.
cool.
I love it.
Uh, but the elders, they kind of are. It's a shock, not in a shock like I can't believe this. It's a shock in this like, wow, we just did not know
Right.
type of thing, because I think there's so much invested in, for a long time it was Black owned is safer.
Hmm.
And that's true until we kind of get into supply chain and ingredients and access and all of that, right? Which, plug for the Safer Beauty bill, that's a cool thing about the transparency is everybody will know where their stuff is coming from. So it helps brands. Um, but and then like my age, so the fresh aunties don't want to
Hey.
hear it. It's like, you know what? Everything is toxic. Don't bother me. Period.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of pushback.
I'm
Um,
surprised. I feel like I would think our generation was a little bit more conscious about wanting to be healthier when it comes to products.
I think if I'm not going to avoid ruffling any feathers, I think a lot of it is we haven't yet sat with how much um, our version of beauty is internalized shame. Um, I think that's where we get hung up, is what we
Hmm.
haven't taken that conversation deep enough to decolonize our beauty standards. Um, because I do agree. I think in almost every other category, we're so intentional about what we're consuming in
Yeah.
all different ways, right? Including like our social circles. So I'm not quite sure how to break through that ice. But college and high school age, their concern is they just want to know when the price is going to come down. Like when the
They're like,
price is going to come
listen,
down and when they can just go to the store and get what they need. right? Like, and I get it. And it's like, I
Mm-hmm.
can't, until I have a solution for you, you are absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah. And the babies, like middle school age, they just love to talk about what being beautiful even means. And I love that. Like, I want every other age group to be inspired by that because I think that's what it comes down to with everything from
Yeah.
nutrition to, you know, the relationships we allow to beauty products we use. It's like, okay, but how much are you actually standing for yourself right now?
Right. You had mentioned the I wrote it down, safer beauty bill. Talk about the bill a little bit and what is in that bill that could be, a game changer for the industry.
Honestly, it is a game changer for the industry simply because it's to me it's the foundation of everything that's going to come after it. Like I have learned in the last 5 years, the bill process, the legislative process,
Yeah.
she's a pebble by pebble type of girl.
I'm about to say government's a little slow.
Well, you know,
A little
they
slow.
like to dice, slicey dicey. But it focuses on transparency from brand to consumer, from supply chain, so from raw materials to how it's manufactured to the brand. It protects salon workers who are obviously for various reasons overexposed and then some. Um,
And you
it
can smell
bans
that when you go to the nail salon.
I mean, it's nostalgic and it's really, really harmful. It also brings us a little bit closer to standards that like California, Washington, and the European Union have set in the context of banning the use of a lot of these toxic chemicals. Uh, the biggest difference I like can tell people is the European Union bans slash prohibits 2,400 plus toxic chemical ingredients, and the United States has like 15 that they have light instruction about, but no regulation over.
Not light
Uh,
instruction.
they're like, do
It's
what
like
you
a
think
it's,
is
it's like a
best.
suggestion.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that helps everyone too. It also helps smaller brands who want to start, more intentional companies and create more intentional products because you can know where your products are coming from. So you're not,
Mhm.
because that's the hard part too, is I have to be very careful. A lot of brands will outreach and say, we're a clean brand. And I look at it and it's like, ah, I can't
Mm.
ever put a black business down and gently, I can't run into the streets with this because
Mhm.
there's just more information. Like the information gaps are so huge, but they're intentionally huge.
Well, so what
So
happens? I'm curious. Now I'm curious about the process. If a brand reaches out to you and they're saying, "Oh, I'm a clean beauty brand," and you do some research, what is that conversation like when you have to tell them, like, "Yeah, but no."
I mean, thankfully, I have the relationships now that I can do that for me. I'm on the advisory board for the non-toxic Black Beauty Project by Campaign for Safe Cosmetics, and it's over 800, I think, brands and products that have been vetted by some of our other partners, data scrape their websites to see, what brands in totality have clean products, all stuff well above my pay grade and brain capacity.
Yeah.
Uh, so I just can generally reference like, are you on that list? Or if they're on if they're on a list somewhere with a
Mhm.
company or a brand that has the credence to actually test these
Test
things.
them.
But yeah, just because of the lack of education, I can't. Saying clean is one thing, and not everything natural is clean, and not everything man-made is toxic.
Toxic.
So
Yeah, that's true.
there's no clear line. But I think we have to just be, as with anything, we have to be careful about what we're saying and why we're saying it.
That's true. If someone's like, "Okay, I'm listening to this conversation and I want to start, looking at more clean products," What are maybe I know we can't get rid of like all chemicals, get rid of everything with all these chemicals at once, but what are like 2 or 3 chemicals we should really be looking out for when it comes to our products?
Formaldehyde is the big one. Formaldehyde and parabens, those are two huge ones, specifically black women. And the biggest one that is going to be the biggest legislative fight, and it's also going to be the biggest cultural fight, is fragrance. Like
Talk a little bit
fragrance,
about fragrance because I've heard
yeah,
fragrance is it's a lot more toxic than we know.
fragrance and parfum.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it is. It is. I think they refer to it as like the black box or black hole, or it's more or less, we'll just say the fragrance as an ingredient. It can be anything, but I think we kind of sort of know it's like up to 8,300 different types of chemical concoctions and ingredients. None tested before market. Everything that has been tested fragrance related is carcinogenic through and through
Yikes.
and through and through. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because one, it's generally filed under trade secrets for brands, so that's how they get away from having to
Mm,
disclose
disclose what's in it.
what's in it. And fragrance is very obviously used to cover up chemical smell. And I think you need chemicals to cover up chemical smell. And it's also extremely rooted in racism in America. So it's a big, big component that we just have to kind of keep chipping away and talking about.
We'll
Nobody wants to have
I
that
will say,
conversation.
talk a little bit about the racism and fragrance because this is new to me. This is very new to me, and
I
let's
I
educate the
read
people. Let's educate the people.
I think it's called Odor of Racism.
Mm.
I've been sitting with how to like find a way to create it, a digestible way to share it.
Yeah.
But a colleague had sent it to me one time. It's nothing rude. It's nothing that's going to be surprising to us, but it just really documented how odor has been used as like a social control construct with women. And we've seen cases of that more recently with when Johnson and Johnson, when way back when their baby powder was shown
Mm-hmm.
to have talc in it, like they have, recorded in their meetings where their marketing strategy was like, okay, so the quote unquote no now, let's go aggressively to churches or go to places where there are overweight African American women or go to the places where Black athletes are and push the product on them because there was this social construct already of if you don't smell clean, you are not worthy to be in
Mm.
society.
And
And that
we
was
loved our baby powder in the 80s and 90s, child. We
because we
loved
were known to have a
baby
pungent
powder.
odor. And Black women specifically were supposed to have some special odor that, made the masters lose their mind or whatever. Whatever they said.
She's like I could go down that rabbit hole.
But it's like, oh, sure, it makes sense because you're right. We love our baby powder, we love our feminine washes, all these things. And it's like, but, and it even like in the odor of racism, it does walk through, and it's like, this was BS because we were also serving these folks like food. And if
Mm-hmm.
we were that smelly and grotesque, we would not be around your food. And the more we learned about history, it was not us that was nasty.
Well, we know that because they tell on themselves now on TikTok. I'm like, y'all didn't need to let us know y'all don't wash regularly. We don't need to know that.
You don't wash your legs ever?
Well, I'll tell you what the recent post on TikTok was,
I'm
was real.
scared.
I'll tell you that offline because it was gross and people have been talking about it for the last couple of days.
Oh, it
Yeah,
can't get worse. Can
actually, it can. It can. But anyway,
it? Anyway.
back on track. How often should we be changing out our beauty products? Because I know I'm guilty. I'll see on the bottles like 12 months, 6 months, and I know I have something way longer than that. So, how often should we be switching things out?
That's a good question because I don't know what it sounds terrible, but like I don't even know what to trust at this point. I really truly think that what the best way to go about it and the most economically friendly way to go about it is whatever you're doing, whatever product you use the most of, start paying attention to that. Like start
Okay.
learning like those types of things. Like what ingredients are in it? Do I want those to be in it? What does my skin maybe need? Can I find a product that does that? And then, as you go, you'll get more used to it. You also streamline your products, which
Mm-hmm.
is friendlier on our wallets, and your body can get used to talking to you, and you can, learn what type of nourishment you do or don't need differently in season. So, but I always say start with one product because the science is also on our side that with the reduction of some of these chemicals in our beauty products, like with reducing use, our bodies do recalibrate. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can help yourself longevity wise.
And should we be taking into account, the bottle will say, because to be honest, I never paid attention to this until recently, where it has like this, it'll show like the can, it'll say like 6M or 12M on it. And I was like, oh, that's how long we should use this product before we should throw it out. I had no idea. Like I just learned that recently. Should we look at that as our threshold of like, okay,
Yeah.
we need to
I
like
mean,
move
I
switch
think
out our products?
we should probably all respect expiration dates.
Okay. I know.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know if
hard
I
though. No, it's true though, because I
yeah.
I mean we keep makeup for years. And I remember when I first learned like eyeshadow was like what 6 months or something, and I was like,
Listen, as much as I paid for that palette I got upstairs, I know it's definitely been longer than a year because I can see the bottom of the eyeshadow that I use, and I'm
use
just like,
that much eyeshadow in
I'm like,
six
when they
months.
say 6 months, I'm like, these cost too much to be thrown out every 6 months. That's also the problem, the price.
But I mean, that goes, it supports your point of finding more sustainable brands because I don't want to, like, for face masks, a great example is get
Mm-hmm.
them in powder form,
Mm-hmm.
like home, like someone made them and knows how to make that stuff. That stuff lasts me forever and it's so much gentler on my skin. So,
Mm-hmm.
shampoo bars, another great example, things
Yeah.
like that. So,
So tell people again, what are some of the apps that they can use to start scanning their products to try to get educated on? And then we'll also make sure we leave the names of the apps in the
yeah.
show notes. But what are some of those apps again that people can
Yeah.
use to start looking at their products at home?
Clearia is a good one.
Clear.
Clearya. And then the Environmental Working Group, EWG, theirs is called the Healthy Living app. And Redify, I don't know if the other two do right now, but I know Redify has an action button on it. That's REDIFY, that lets you directly send a note to the brand
Hmm.
if it rates high. Like it's just an advocacy thing because that's a low lift. Like no one's saying if you're a brand, you find out it's using a toxic ingredient. I don't want you to necessarily give that up either. I do want you to go now ask the brand why they're using that ingredient. And I do want you to tell other people because look at Target. We can talk with our money. I want us to keep doing that.
Apparently, Target wants that old thing back, but that'll be interesting to
Of
see how
course
that
they
happens.
do. Of course they do. We knew they would. That's why we're like, okay, that's cute. But you didn't pay attention to how we move on. Like, what's the joke? Like, after a breakup, a black woman will have 2 degrees, a new house, and like a couple other businesses or
Because the
something.
glow up is real, okay? The glow up be
Because we moved
real.
on.
Facts. Before we wrap up, I'm going to do some rapid fire questions.
Oh, okay.
Where do you see Clean Beauty for Black girls in the next year? Where would you like to see your organization in terms of the work that you're doing, the advocacy, the education, all the things?
In the next year, I'm going to be really heavy in the community, just having these conversations about beauty, getting awareness so we can get this legislation through and passed. Because I think the biggest success after a year and these bills go where they need to go, or for me to no longer be needed on a nonprofit level, I would love to turn her into a hub to get young Black girls into the beauty industry in whatever way that they want to. So yeah, as soon as we can get this legislative stuff wrapped up,
She's like, and then we gonna pivot, okay?
we can pivot. No, I mean that it's I say that all the time because it's like, what's your goal with your nonprofit? To not be needed. Like that should be the goal of every nonprofit. I want this solved. Thank you.
That is true. When I was talking to Ebony Cooper on a previous episode, she works in nonprofit space and she said the same thing. She's like, nonprofits should not exist. Like, in essence, her whole thing was
Yeah.
like, we should be in a space where they have the funding, they can do the work, and then they're no longer needed. So I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
that. What are your top 5 favorite clean beauty brands?
Ooh, the melanated bar, hands down. Um, buttered.
I just bought some stuff from Buttered. I'm
You
looking forward to trying
did?
that. Yeah, I'm having a Galentine's Day dinner with my friends, so I'm gifting
Cute.
them gift bags. So I have like Black women owned brands in there. So like Okra Spring Water. I got Bell's Reigns cookies. They're Maryland based. I got Buttered, so they have like the
Nice.
smaller samples, and then KSM Candles in Baltimore. She has like a car diffuser. So surprise to them, they're getting these bags of
Ooh.
like all these goodies from Black women owned. So I'm excited to try Buttered. Definitely excited to try Buttered.
I'm excited to hear what you think about it. You'll let me know. Um, the lip bar.
I love the lip bar. Lip bar gets all my money. I'm wearing the
I
lip bar
know.
today. Okay. They get all my money.
I'm still looking for like more makeup. Like I need a good makeup, Black owned clean brand. I say that like I actually wear makeup, but mascara is what I'm thinking of when I say that.
There's the lip bar I think has mascara. Don't
I
they have
think I know, like that's I was like, wait, did I just see that because I feel like they've
they
had a
do
few new products
they have
within the
mascara
last
cuz of
couple
course
of
they
years.
have the lipstick, they have mascara. I love their it's called Total Meltdown. It's the makeup remover. Love that. So it's literally just like a cream base, you put it on your face and then you can like wipe it off. I use a tinted moisturizer, got that on. I use the
I
powder.
like
They have
LYS Beauty too.
a whole
Do
thing.
you
Oh,
have you ever
which
used
one?
them? LYS?
I haven't heard of them. I'll have to check them out. LYS.
Yeah, they're good too. But yeah, there's it's fun to see all of these brands grow and get to know them. And I think that's what I want people to start to learn and understand is we jump from like the whole obsession with Korean beauty bothers me so much
Mm.
because I don't know why we can't be obsessed with Black beauty. Like I don't know why we just cannot be obsessed with Black beauty and why it's always looked at as the lesser than. And I know the argument is Korean products are so hydrating. Yeah, they are. Do you know that Black women making these skincare products and makeup products know that your skin needs a lot of hydration? What do you think
Right.
they're doing?
Right.
Like,
right.
and I know your skin. Like, I want us to put more respect on Black businesses in the beauty industry because I think we've seen far too many start to fall. And I think that's devastating for so many reasons. One being, I'm not sure anybody understands how hard it was to get where they got.
Hmm.
So, need us to put some money behind our community.
And that's a conversation that's been had a lot online recently is the need
Yeah.
for funding. Because
Yeah.
they're amazing businesses, great products, but everybody needs money to be
It's
sustainable.
true. I mean, you look at the like we sit at the table and it's, policy makers, it's epidemiologists, it's brands making these cleaner, safer products, and then it's nonprofits. We're all there doing the work, but we still all need money and
Hmm.
nobody's getting it. So it's not that it's impossible. It's like the bar is so low for the possibility of how much better this can get. Like I don't understand. But and it helps everyone. Like if we're being completely honest, like I'm constantly saying if we take care of the needs of the most marginalized, like hello, we all benefit. If Black women are well because our products are safe, so are everybody else's.
We're just waiting for America to understand that reality. Because
Good.
we've been preaching that for how long?
I mean, we were talking about Harriet before we started this, so
We were.
I'm just saying.
We definitely were. We are in Maryland. Both of us are in Maryland, and we've been hit with some cold weather these last couple weeks. Where's your favorite place to travel for to escape cold weather, winter weather, or just to take a break from all of everything that's going on? Where would you love to travel? Where your favorite place to go?
First of all, I moved here from growing up in Iowa and living in South Dakota, and the
Oh well,
cold,
yeah.
no, the cold reminded me of there, and I was like, I did not move here. Like I've been to, no, 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 don't do this.
Welcome.
Um, but where is my favorite place to go? I mean, I like the cold for like a day or two. I'm not gonna lie. I really do like the crispness. This was the first year I wanted to escape. Um, I guess I don't escape. I, I just short circuited.
Well,
I
let's
could
work.
sit by
I'm
a
saying let's
beach,
work. I said let's work on that in 2026.
right? I was like, okay, then, noted. Everybody keeps telling me I do not take vacations or time off. I hear you loud and clear. I like a beach though. I like hiking. I like everything. I'm an active girl. Like,
You just
give me
like
some
being outside.
playtime with some friends and I'm good.
Awesome. Well, let everybody know where they can connect with you, Clean Beauty for Black Girls, get educated, all the things. Where can people connect, find you, find more about your organization and the different work and the legislation that you've been working on with our government and other groups.
Yeah, cleanbeautyforblackgirls.org is our website. On there, there's links to Consumer Report Study, the Safer Beauty Bill package with breast cancer prevention partners, and information I believe that you can take to get the FDA to push for the formaldehyde ban. Instagram, Threads, also Clean Beauty for Black Girls on those platforms as well.
Make sure you guys check out Clean Beauty for Black Girls. Hannah shares a lot of informative information. I learn something new every time she posts something. I'm like, oh, did not know that. Make sure you check out
Right.
the website, get educated on the legislation, get educated on what our government is doing. I'm going to drop a link for all of the different apps and platforms she mentioned so we can start, educating ourselves, taking a look at our products, seeing what's in our products, and start making the transition to cleaner options. Hannah, I thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. I thank all of you who are listening and tuning in for checking out this episode, and I will see you guys next time. If you enjoyed this episode, drop a comment below and don't forget to subscribe to the Kickback with Keri newsletter.